Welcome to The Explainer. Today we are breaking down a whole series of recent announcements that all point to one single thing. A massive, ground-shaking revolution is coming to gaming, and it looks like the year everything changes is 2026.
And this quote, it just perfectly captures the moment we're in. Seriously, the very foundations of the gaming world are cracking. We've got these huge shifts happening in hardware, in the money behind the games, and in game design itself. And it is all converging on a single point in the very near future.
So, this whole revolution, it really starts with the hardware. The raw power that's going to define a whole new generation of experiences. We are talking about a leap in technology that is going to make today's games feel like, well, ancient history.
And the first shot? It's been fired by Rockstar. We finally have a date, November 19, 2026. But honestly, the date isn't even the real story here. The tech powering GTA 6, that's the real hurricane. We're talking about a completely new engine, Rage 9, that's capable of creating NPCs with long-term memory. Just think about that. Characters who remember what you did weeks, maybe even months later. That's not just a small upgrade, it's a fundamental change in how a game world can even work.
So, here's the crucial point. One single game is now dictating the entire console hardware cycle. Yep. To handle a beast of a game like this without any compromises, Sony and Microsoft are basically being forced into an arms race to get their PS5 Pro and their new Xbox hardware out the door. GTA 6 has become the new baseline for what a next-gen console has to be able to do.
And what's really fascinating is that the PC side of things is gearing up for this exact same future. A massive leak just revealed AMD's Olympic Ridge processors, the Ryzen 10,000 series. Just look at these specs. That 24-core chip isn't just about raw speed. It is purpose-built to run complex AI models right there on your machine, not somewhere off in the cloud. This isn't just for making enemies a little smarter. This is for creating entire AI agents that actually live and breathe inside the game world.
And this comparison right here just brilliantly illustrates the huge leap we're about to take. Today's games, they often rely on pretty simple repeating NPC loops and kind of standard physics. But by 2026, we are moving to persistent worlds with characters who remember you and environments you can realistically tear apart. And because of this new CPU architecture, the goal is to make performance issues and stuttering a thing of the past.
Okay, so we've got all this incredible new power. But who is going to pay for it all? That brings us to the second pillar of this revolution, a massive financial reshuffle, where the old ways of doing business are just completely collapsing under their own weight.
The writing has been on the wall for a while, and Netflix, they saw it. They went and made a massive, multi-billion-dollar bid to buy Warner Bros. Games. And the goal was pretty simple. Get your hands on huge IPs like Harry Potter, DC Comics, and Mortal Kombat overnight and become a gaming superpower in one single move.
I mean, they were ready to completely shake up the industry. It was this bold, aggressive play to jump right to the front of the line. But they weren't the only giant at the negotiating table.
And just like that, the deal fell apart. Paramount swooped in with an offer that Warner Bros. Apparently called vastly superior. Netflix had to retreat, and they were pushed right back to the slow, agonizingly expensive process of building their own studios from the ground up.
You see, this high-stakes bidding war, it's really just a symptom of a much larger problem in the industry, which this quote just absolutely nails. The cost of making these gigantic next-generation games has gotten so astronomically high that the old rules just don't apply anymore, which brings us to the bombshell news from Square Enix. Just look at this. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth cost an estimated $300 million to make. Let me say that again. $300 million. And the company finally realized that trying to make that money back by selling it on just one console, even one as successful as the PS5, is becoming financially impossible. It just doesn't work.
So what's the solution? Well, it's as radical as it is necessary. Square Enix is shattering one of the biggest PlayStation exclusives. The game is officially coming to Xbox and, this is the really surprising part, the upcoming Nintendo Switch too. The era of the blockbuster third-party exclusive is dying, not because anyone wants it to, but out of pure, simple financial necessity.
So, with all this new tech and this intense financial pressure, how does that actually impact the games we play? Well, it's forcing a creative renaissance. It's letting developers not only build brand new things, but to completely reinvent experiences that we already love.
First off, we're seeing classic games get true next-gen treatments. Take the Tales of Berseria remaster.
This isn't just a simple resolution bump. Not at all. Bandai Namco has rebuilt the lighting from the ground up, they've replaced textures, and they've optimized it so well it hits a locked 60 frames per second with 0 loading times, even on the original Switch. Now that's how you preserve a classic.
But it's not just about remasters. This new environment is also leading to some incredible, and I mean incredible creative risks. And there is no better example than the terrifying new vision that we're seeing for Silent Hill.
The developer, a studio called No Code, is just throwing out the traditional horror rulebook. Instead of your standard camera, the game traps you in this terrifying mix of CCTV feeds and found footage. You interact with the world through old analog electronics, and even have to solve puzzles by listening for clues in the audio. It is all designed from the ground up to create this deep sense of paranoia and dread, not just cheap jump scares.
By going all the way back to the franchise's roots of that deep, atmospheric psychological terror, Townfall isn't just trying to be another Silent Hill game. No, it's positioned to ask a much, much bigger question. Can it completely redefine what a modern horror experience can even be?
Okay, so we've seen these massive shifts in technology, in finance, and in creative design. But let's bring it all home. What does this convergence of forces actually mean for you, the player, when you finally pick up a controller in 2026?
All right, here's the bottom line. Your gaming experience is about to change in 4 huge ways. First, it's going to be smoother because this new hardware is designed to kill performance problems. Second, it's becoming more accessible since financial pressure is pushing these huge games onto way more platforms. Third, our beloved classics are being reborn, not just re-released. And maybe most importantly, the worlds themselves are getting smarter with AI that makes them feel truly alive and reactive.
And the ultimate test for this new era, the final proof that everything has changed, will be this. If the Nintendo Switch 2, a portable, handheld console, can actually run a graphical monster like Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, then the line that has separated home consoles from handhelds for decades will be completely and utterly erased, gone. This convergence of unbelievable power, open platforms, and this new wave of creative freedom, it's all setting the stage for an experience unlike anything we have ever seen before. And it all leads back to this one final thought. Are you ready for a world where your hardware is no longer the limit, but your imagination is?